Taylor here with Agri Drones. We are right in the middle of our 1,000-acre challenge here. We're going to get over 1,000 acres in 24 hours with the J100. So far, we are well on track. So I'm going to go ahead and lift off. Now, of course, there's a little caveat to this. We're not spraying 1,000 different acres. We are parked right here on the edge of this field, spraying it over and over and over again. Now, I started last night at about 7 p.m. I sprayed my tank out, covered about 450 acres in a little under 10 hours. And I actually found out that we're way more efficient whenever we just let the drone go to the edge of the field and start from there, reducing our deadhead time. That means we don't have to actually fill the tank all the way up. I'm only using about 10 gallons out of this 11.9 gallon tank, and I'm getting now close to 60 acres per hour at a 2-gallon rate, 32-foot swath, 45 feet per second. This is exactly how I'd run. I probably wouldn't run on a day like today, because today we've got gusts of wind from 15 to about 20 miles per hour. It's finally starting to calm down right now, but middle of the day it was blowing so bad there was dust clouds moving across. We've actually been able to cycle 2 batteries a lot today. We're just going to do some stress testing on our batteries, stress testing on our wire harnesses, which I'll show you guys here in a bit. So far, so good. So we're just going to keep this drone running and see how many acres we get knocked out. And we got so much wind today that the drone's actually blowing off course about a foot whenever it comes home to land. So as we bring it down, usually I'll just flip it over in a manual mode right here. And I'll just fly forward a little bit, line it back up, and I'll do an auto landing. Our rubber feet and a bouncy trailer combined with the wind don't do us any favors for a smooth landing, but it gets the job done. We've got a new system here in our trailer. We've got a big pump, 1.5-inch hose. So we're able to swap our battery and fill our tank and get back up in the air pretty dang quick. So I'm just watching my side of my tank right here, because I really only need right about 10 gallons or so. Actually about 9.5 gets us down and back on this 32-foot swath, 2 gallon per acre. That makes for really good tank use efficiency. This onboard battery keeps GPS signal, boots up real quick, we get back in the air. There you can see that wind pushing that drone back. Got our J100 out there doing kind of its last runs on this field here. I'm going to show you guys on the map. There you can see our drone right there. It's kind of doing some point rows. This field's not perfectly square, so we got some point rows on this end over here. Then we got one pass over there on that end to finish up. Then we'll have it completed. Now, the next time we spray this, I'll show you how you can actually eliminate these point rows. So we're going to load up our 1,000 acre field again. Select our template. 2 gallons per acre, 13 feet high, 44.9 feet per second. We're gonna enable terrain follow in 13.1. We're actually going to use fixed altitude mode on the way home. 12 feet should be fine. We're gonna go to our route. We're gonna run 32 feet. We're gonna take off our safety point. We zoom out here, you can see we're starting right there. So we're gonna fly parallel to that boundary right there. Reference boundary, hit that one. And there you can see, because we have area priority planning turned on, we're parallel to this boundary and parallel to that boundary. So it actually shrinks these route spacings on this side right here and a bit wider over here. And it's okay to shrink it just a little bit because you've got overlap and you've got a range on your route spacing. But this way we have no point rows here. All right, we'll do corner spray. New operation. All right, ready to take off. Well, it pains me to say it, I made a rookie mistake. I brought Dennis along and he messed up. It's all his fault. Okay. Actually, my rookie mistake was we ran out of fuel in our generator just before we crossed the finish line. We only had about 20 acres left and we were on track, well on track to be spraying 1,000 acres in, well, actually under 24 hours. 24 hours in total, but more like 19 hours or 20 hours at the field because, well, I had to sleep a little bit, I guess. We've got about, this is, I guess, 980 acres, and we're gonna take this drone back, kind of go through it, check to see if anything's loose here after almost 1,000 acres in 24 hours, and I'll get back to you guys with a full report. So remember how I said that we changed two things? We changed how we were bringing the drone back home, not letting it run out, but actually bringing it back on the close side. And we were using our priority planning to actually not end up with point rows on the one side of the field. Well, that actually made quite a big difference. I thought it did in the field, but now looking at the data, we can see that it really did make a difference. So we're seeing two of those operations here. One operation where we filled the drone full, let it run out, and then one operation where we brought it back on the close side of the field. Everything else stayed the same. Our speed and our route spacing, both 32 feet. So this one here, you can see it's leaving a bunch of these short passes that it's going to clean up at the end of the field. And it's also not parallel on this side of the boundary. The boundaries haven't changed on either one of these fields. It's just that on this one, it gradually makes itself parallel as it moves from the right boundary to the left boundary by squeezing in this route spacing up here to just a little under 32 feet.
so we end up with no point rows. Now understand, not every field is perfectly square, but knowing how to operate on the field that you're operating on to shave a little bit of efficiency here and there. I'll show you why, because when we look at the data here, we can see that whenever we brought it back on the close side of the field and only filled the tank up about 80%, we had 20, flights instead of 16, so 4 more flights. We only got 4.5 acres per tank load instead of 5.5 acres per tank load, but we got 51 acres per hour. Now this is from the first takeoff to the last takeoff, and this is real time here. This is military time, so 16:03 to 17:49 on this one. So it's the first takeoff to the last landing, and we looked at that on both of these operations. That's the time that it took, the real time. So 6 more acres per hour over the course of this time, from here to here is a 14% increase in efficiency, which means 48 more acres covered per 8 hours of operation. That's basically per day. 48 acres more per day is what could be covered if you had fields like this, of course. Every field's different, but knowing how to operate on that field does add up. 5 acres, 6 acres per hour, that adds up for sure. Who doesn't want that? Plus, not only that, the drone ran cooler, right? We were taking off with less payload. We had 1.5 to 2 gallon less in the tank, so it was running cooler. The batteries running cooler. The batteries came back with more charge level in them, so they were charging faster, which is all great, especially when you've got high wind or high heat, like we had both, right? So why not operate like that when it's more efficient and the drone runs better? The other thing we learned, of course, is you need to prepare, be prepared. Don't be like us and forget fuel for the generator or many of the other things you could forget to bring to the field that would decrease your efficiency and make it a very long day or make it to where you didn't get 1,000 acres in 24 hours like us. So, yeah, understanding how to operate the drone and changing just a few things can make a big difference. And being prepared is very important. We're going to bring you guys another video whenever we actually do 1,000 acres in 24 hours, whenever I've got time and the gumption to stay up another 24 hours straight, I guess. Okay, that's what we got for you. Hopefully this was insightful and helpful to understand how these drones operate whenever you are doing endurance testing. Okay, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Thanks.